ultimately, the universe is run by human minds. That's what the Torah is teaching us when it talks about Bechira. When the Torah says, "Ibacharta b'chaim," it doesn't just mean you as an individual should choose to live a good life. It means that the whole world, the whole universe, is relying on you in order to receive its sustenance, in order to be alive. Because the human beings are in charge of everything that happens in this universe. And we see how it's not only the individual that's affected, all of life gets affected. Starting with the people, moving to the animals, and on to the plants, and finally, even the doimim is affected. Because the energy that we create is the energy that gets to interpret all the other energies. And today, with quantum physics and neuroscience and different understandings that science is arriving at, that's really confusing their theories that they've been relying on for so long, they're finally realizing that a human being is much more than they thought he was. Until now, they just looked at a human being like a piece of Lego that's a part of this big building over here. But now they're realizing that a human being is not only alive within his body, he is alive within nature. He's the life of nature. It's like the pasuk says, "Kol hashikra lo yodem nefesh chayo hi shemoy," that everything gets interpreted by the human being. And that's not only for us. That's for the entire universe. Meaning, Kivyochel HaKadosh Baruch Hu interprets life based on how we interpret it. The Zohar says that there would be no punishment for anyone unless a human being created a kitrug. If there wasn't a human being that created a kitrug with his mind, with his mouth, for himself or for others, then there would never be punishment, ever. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Midas HaRachamim. He has no interest in punishing. However, because we are so powerful, because the world runs on us, if we create a kitrug, then we give chomer to the Satan, we give power to the devil, we give power to evil forces. And those evil forces have a real existence in the spiritual world, in the Olam HaMachshava, and they can manifest all over the world, not necessarily close to where the person who said it will see it. It could happen somewhere on the other side of the world. But there's a relationship between the words that were said and the thing that happened. The words that are said are the cause, and the things that happen are the effect. Meaning that human beings are in charge of everything that happens on this planet and beyond. But really what matters is what happens on this planet, because everything beyond happens from what happens on this planet. This is the purpose of how it was created. This is the reason it is this way. And therefore, the Midas Hadin is here to save us from ourselves, so that we can constantly bring ourselves back to reality and remember who we are and how we're supposed to behave. If there was no Midas Hadin, then people would do whatever they want. And people don't really know what they want. And so while they're doing what they think they want, they'll actually be doing the exact opposite of what they want. And this is the reason why within every cycle, whether it's a daily cycle, a monthly cycle, or an annual cycle, there's a Midas Hadin. The Midas Hadin of the daily cycle happens ben Hashmoshes, when it starts getting dark. That's the time of Mincha. That's the time where there's more Midas Hadin in the world. The spirits that have been created by humanity, that are anti-humanity, wake up. And that's when we daven the Tfilas HaMincha. And if we look at the month, at the time when there's no moon, right before Rosh Chodesh, is the time of Midas Hadin. We know people don't get married at that time. The middle of the month, when the moon is the most powerful, is the time when we have the most shefa. We have the biggest the most powerful energies of that month coming through. And the same thing for the year. In the annual cycle, we have Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is a time of din. Rosh Hashanah is a time where it's a new year, and it's a time for us to remember who we are. It's a time for us to reflect. It's a time for us to recognize our power. And therefore, Chazal, the Torah, created for us a cycle of how we're going to get introduced to a new year, so that we can take this opportunity to become more connected to reality, to become more connected to the truth, so that we can remember who we are,